The Krillian High Command had made their calculations carefully. New Olympia, humanity's frontier colony on the edge of the Andromeda Arm, housed merely 2.3 million civilians. The settlement possessed basic defensive platforms and a token garrison of perhaps 50 vessels. By all intelligence reports, it would fall within hours to their assault fleet of 800 warships. What the Krillians hadn't calculated was the nature of humanity's response. Fleet Admiral Thane Corvanis of the Krillian Supremacy watched with satisfaction as the final transmission from New Olympia cut to static. The colony's defensive grid had lasted exactly 4 hours and 17 minutes longer than expected, but still pathetically brief by galactic standards. His officers chittered with pleased clicking sounds, their crystalline exoskeletons reflecting the bridge's amber lighting. "Resistance has ceased, Admiral," reported his tactical officer, Vexkar. "The human colony has been pacified. Casualty reports indicate total success." Corvanis felt a surge of pride. This demonstration would send a clear message to the Terran Federation about who truly controlled this sector of space. The humans had been expanding too aggressively, establishing colonies dangerously close to sacred Krillian breeding worlds. This surgical strike would force them back to their core systems. "Excellent," Corvanis replied, his mandibles clicking in satisfaction. "Begin establishing the occupation garrison. I want mining operations." The communication array erupted with incoming signals. Not just 1 or 2 hundreds of them, all broadcasting on emergency frequencies simultaneously. Vexkar's compound eyes widened as data flooded his screens. "Admiral," the tactical officer's voice carried an unfamiliar tremor. "We're receiving priority transmissions from every monitoring station across the sector." "Sir, the humans are mobilizing." The main display shifted to show long-range sensor data. At first, Corvanis saw nothing unusual, just the typical star charts and shipping lane markers. Then the scale adjusted, and his blood turned to ice. Emerging from hyperspace, at the edge of human territory, came a sight that defied comprehension. Ship after ship after ship, materializing in formations so vast they stretched across multiple star systems. The computer struggled to maintain count as more vessels continued arriving, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000. "Admiral Corvanis," came a transmission on all frequencies, the voice calm and utterly cold. "This is Fleet Admiral Sarah Martinez of the Terran Federation Navy. You have exactly 1 standard hour to evacuate New Olympia and withdraw your forces to beyond the neutral zone." The holographic image showed a middle-aged human woman in pristine white and gold uniform, her dark eyes holding no warmth whatsoever. Behind her, through the viewport of what appeared to be a massive command vessel, the silhouettes of countless other ships stretched to infinity. "1 hour, Admiral. Not 1 minute more." The transmission ended, leaving Corvanis staring at tactical displays that continued updating with impossible numbers. His fleet of 800 vessels suddenly seemed laughably small against what the sensors were detecting. "Status report," he barked, his usual composure cracking. "Sir," Vexkar's voice was barely above a whisper. "Current count shows approximately 700,000 human warships converging on this sector. These aren't patrol vessels or frigates, Admiral. These are ship-of-the-line battleships, dreadnoughts, and carrier groups. Some of these vessels," he paused, checking his readings again, "some of them are over 30 kilometers in length. 700,000. The number was beyond military comprehension. The entire Krillian Supremacy possessed perhaps 12,000 warships total. Even the mighty Zolothian Empire, rulers of 47 systems, could barely field 30,000 vessels. Yet, here were the humans, a species the Krillians had dismissed as technologically inferior, deploying a force larger than the combined fleets of every known civilization in the galaxy. "How is this possible?" Corvanis demanded. Our intelligence indicated the humans possessed perhaps 10,000 military vessels total. His intelligence officer, Mordeth, scuttled forward on 6 legs, his carapace pale with fear. "Admiral, we may have miscalculated. These ships are emerging from deep space, from coordinates where our long-range sensors detected nothing. They appear to have been stationed in dark space, powered down, waiting." The implications hit Corvallis like a plasma torpedo. The humans hadn't just mobilized this fleet in response to the attack on New Olympia. They had positioned hundreds of thousands of warships throughout the galaxy in advance, hidden, ready for exactly this scenario. A new transmission arrived, this one carrying the seal of the Krillian High Command. The Supreme Overlord herself appeared on screen, her ancient carapace scarred from 1,000 battles. "Admiral Corvallis," her voice carried the weight of absolute authority. "You will withdraw immediately. Do not engage. Do not attempt to hold the colony. Retreat to the core systems and await further orders." But Supreme Overlord Corvallis protested. "We have taken the colony. To retreat now would be survival." She cut him off. "Our deep space monitors have detected human fleet movements throughout the galaxy. They're not just responding to your attack, Admiral. They're repositioning for total war. 700,000 ships for one colony. Imagine what they would send if we killed their fleet commander." The tactical display updated again. The human fleet had formed into perfect battle formations, creating an impenetrable wall between Corvallis's position and any possible escape route. Except one, a narrow corridor leading directly back to Krillian space, obviously left open intentionally. Admiral Martinez to Admiral Corvallis came another transmission. "You now have 37 minutes remaining. My fleet is in position. I should inform you that the force you see represents roughly 12% of our total naval capacity. We generally keep the other 88% in reserve for more serious threats." 12%. Corvallis's mind reeled. If this overwhelming display of power represented only a fraction of human military might, then every assumption about galactic power balance was utterly wrong. "Furthermore," Martinez continued, "I want you to understand something clearly. New Olympia was home to 2.3 million civilians. Men, women, children. They were farmers, teachers, artists, engineers. They posed no military threat to your empire. Yet you killed them all for the sake of territory." The human admiral's image leaned forward, her voice dropping to barely above a whisper. "We do not forget. We do not forgive. And we never, ever leave an attack on our people unanswered. Today you see our restraint. We're allowing you to leave, to carry word back to your leaders about what happens when you murder human civilians. But if you ever attack our people again, we will not send 700,000 ships." She paused, letting the words sink in. "We will send them all." The transmission ended. Corvallis stared at the tactical display, showing the massive human fleet maintaining perfect formation, their weapons powered but not yet targeting his ships. The corridor home remained open, but he knew with absolute certainty that it would close the moment the 1-hour deadline passed. "All ships," he broadcast to his fleet, his voice heavy with defeat, "retreat formation. We return to Krillian space immediately." As his vessels began their humiliating withdrawal, Corvallis realized the true horror of what they had unleashed. The humans hadn't just revealed their military strength, they had revealed their philosophy. One human colony. 700,000 warships in response. The galaxy would never be the same. Behind them, the human fleet maintained position for exactly 72 hours. A silent monument to overwhelming force and restrained vengeance, before disappearing back into the darkness of deep space as suddenly as they had arrived. But every civilization in the galaxy had received the message loud and clear. Humanity protected its own, and the cost of testing that protection was beyond calculation.